everybody, to episode number 269 of NoCoders Office Hours. I'm Tanya, your host, and I'm here with our special co-host guest, Matt Neary. Welcome, your first Office Hours. We're so excited to have you. And we're also here with several members of No Code School and a few of our members. So we're going to get started in just a moment, but if this is your first time tuning into Office Hours, what it is we hold Zoom sessions 6 times per week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and then we have a second session on Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. And our developer members, they get to come on each of these Zoom sessions, as many of them as they want, and ask us any no-code questions they want. We can't guarantee that we have the answers because nobody has all of the answers, but we do promise you won't suffer with your questions alone, and we do get it right most of the time. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and open it up to the floor and see. I think, Ben, you were the first member here. Do you have any questions for this evening?
I'm sure I will, but I don't right this second.
No worries.
I will. So
We'll move to Sander. Sander, do you have any questions?
Yes, I have, but it's already a difficult question to start, maybe. I will try
Do you want
to
me to
explain.
check
So,
with John? Oh, go for it. Awesome.
I will, or what I try to do is to connect my printer, but it's like a POS printer for printing tickets after a restaurant or something like that. I saw different topics on it on the Google, on the Bubble forum. And then I try to install it, but I totally get stuck there. So I want to ask if someone can help me because I have no idea what I should do to make it work.
Okay, this is like Matt's worst nightmare. I have no idea. See, that's how it's done, Matt. I have no idea.
Well, no, this is it's a good category of no idea because it's just like so far out there that I don't even feel bad for not knowing it.
Right, because we've never done it before. But do you have any idea of where the hang up is, Sander?
Yes, I should add files to it. But the first thing is I don't get files. And when I try to upload them, it didn't work. So I will share my screen. It will be the easiest.
So how is the communication happening between your app and the printer?
It's from GS Print Manager. Wait, let me share my screen. Is it fine if I share my screen?
Go ahead. Take over.
Okay. So normally you can see the screen at the moment.
Yep, we can.
Okay. So this is the forum post I was reading. And here is writing down exactly how it should work. So I went to there first to try it. This is from the same thing. So I install everything on my computer and then I click on print now. When I click here, like you can hear maybe, it is definitely printing. So the connection with my computer is fine. The printer is working. So that's the good thing. But then to implement this print button to my Bubble websites, that's more difficult. So what I had already is this. So the HTML from here, but the selected printers are not over there. And I guess because I have to run JavaScript flow, but there I didn't found the file. So this is what I already did. This is working. Then from here, they said download the script referees. So when I click on it, I just came to here. I want to download it for online. And then from here, I just get on GitHub, but I have no idea what I should download. So I just want to ask if someone ever did it before. For me, it doesn't matter which program I use or whatever. It's just for a SaaS application. And what I try to achieve is that if people press print, it can print on the printer they want. For example, it can be they have 3 different printers with different formats or whatever. And here in the forum, they said this is the best one because you don't have to pay for each print you do. But with JavaScript and all these things, I have no idea how it's working. But maybe it's too complicated to ask it here, and then I should figure it out at myself.
I don't think it would hurt to post this question in the Slack channel.
Yeah, I did it already, and then
and nobody answered.
Eli said, yeah, you can come to office hours whenever you want. So I'm here.
Oh,
Just a quick question: this is just to eliminate this. This is not as simple as you just want the users to be able to like access the print function of their browser. You're not triggering that. You have some specific files that you want them to be able to print to their own printer by clicking on a button in the app.
Yes, and for it's on the same computer, but most of the time it can be there in the new room another place, and if they click on it, it should be on the printer they want, and that should be possible with this product. And also I don't want to get a pop-up over there, so most of the time if you try to print something from the browser, I can show it, then you will receive something like this. So yeah. I don't want this pop-up. I just want that it printed directly, like it was on the test website over here. Where is I tested before? It's from here. So here you can just type it, you click print now, and then it starts printing.
Right. And on this site, so how did you connect your printer on this site right here, on this sort of like sandbox page?
Yes, this is a page of the software itself. And then from here you can choose, you can print the client app. It's on your computer, then he install all the drivers and that's working. If you want to do it from your online website like Bubble thing, then you have to download these files, I guess, and then it should work. But like I said, I can come back another time to here, or we will figure it out in the Slack channel. That's fine for me as well. But here is also someone else that tried to figure it out, and it's also not working. So.
Oh, was it not working for them in the forum either?
No, and then after it, he gave another explanation. Then it was working again. So.
Yeah, well, unless Matt has any ideas.
I mean, nothing off the top of my head. Like we could spend time going through that GitHub documentation and playing around. I don't know how you want to run the session, Tanya, because that'd probably take quite a bit of time.
Yeah. So that's why, if there are other people with questions, I think it's better they can.
We can take this up again with Cameron tomorrow if you want. Cameron usually slugs it through and gets to an answer. So he'll be on in the morning, Sander, in our morning.
So it is in how many hours? If I'm right, in 15 hours?
Yes, 16 hours from now.
16 or 15?
16. Yeah, 16.
I will try to be. Is he also next week?
Yeah, he's on Monday really late, and then Tuesday at the same time as today, and then Fridays.
Yes. Okay, then tomorrow is not possible, so then it will be for Monday.
Okay, I'll try. If you can send me through Messenger, send me this link to the forum post. I'll give him a heads up.
Yes.
So he knows what's coming.
We'll do it directly.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
There we go. Jonathan, you're up. Jonathan, are you there? Do you have any questions?
Oh, sorry, I did not mute myself. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I'll just share my screen now. Cool. So, I've basically, can you see this?
I can.
Yep. I've basically got this list, and what I need to do is I've got these two checkboxes. So I need to ideally be able to update this row of data depending on what checkboxes are ticked. So the first thing I could do is obviously have a button on each row, so it's really easy to reference what piece of data we're talking about in the repeating group. But as a user experience, I don't think that's really ideal. So I was hoping if you guys knew of a way that I could potentially reference every row in a repeating group to through one button essentially in the workflow to create an API call for that. If that makes sense.
Oh, so you're saying you don't want the when you check a box, it shouldn't update then. It's just you're selecting
Correct.
these items, and then when you click update, it only updates the items that you've selected.
Yeah, or essentially all items, I guess, but it just needs to go through each row of data in the repeating group.
And the data is actually in Xano, right? Not in Bubble?
Yeah, so in terms of creating the endpoint for whatever we need, that's easy. I can do that in Xeno, and that's all handled there. It's just more of how we can formulate or put the data of each row in one workflow, if that makes sense.
Got it.
Where are we at? So essentially, it would just need to repeat this with each checkbox, yeah, for each row.
Right. Okay. So have you used recursive workflows before?
No, not really.
Okay. So this would be right, Tanya. If I'm understanding this correctly, this is like perfect use case for a recursive workflow.
Yeah, so instead of sending one API call, you would send one for each row. Is that what you were thinking?
Well, or you could send all the data. You could send all the data as, I'm not super familiar with Xano, but you could probably send it as a JSON object and then have Xano loop through it and make the required updates.
Yeah, so in terms of processing the data, I think that'll be quite easy on Xeno's side. It's just a matter of getting it all in one call, if possible, one post.
Got it. So I think that you can take, I'm trying to think. So go back to the design section. Sorry,
the design itself, yeah.
Yeah. So is it just show linen, show cleans? Is that the only two things that could be changed?
Correct.
On a row, or okay? And I guess, and you can have nulls, I'm supposing, in Xano.
So I think the way this will be set up is probably be like a Boolean, but I mean, yeah.
Okay, so if it's not checked, it's no, and if it is checked, it's yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then thinking through here, so I don't think we're going to get out of using one of the plugins, like probably BDK repeating group tools, so that you can grab the list in order for each of those columns, and then use that probably with the format as text to kind of construct your JSON to send into Xano.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you, Matt? What I just said?
Say that again. Sorry, I was elsewhere.
It's okay. I was thinking BDK tools, we could use it to grab the list of those, basically those columns in the repeating group. And that way it's one-to-one list match of each row for each of those columns. And then we can use format as text to format that into JSON that we can send over to Xano.
Yeah, that's definitely, yeah. The other way I was just thinking was if you, is it quite a small list right here that we're talking about? It's just.
No. So this
Okay.
could be 100 plus. Yeah.
And would you want to be able to update 100 plus all at once?
Well, I guess if they haven't been updated and they go through and there's no change, and if they have, then they have been. So ideally, I'd want it to, for anything visible, I would want it to update, if that makes sense.
All right, so is the page paginated then, the repeating group?
What do you mean by that? Sorry.
Are you only showing a certain number of rows?
Don't know at this stage, but I think like I'll probably have to, obviously, because of the size of it potentially. Yeah,
because it'll be slow to load.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I think what you're saying, Tonya, is if you we'd only need there's only two fields that could change here, right?
Correct.
Linen
Those
and
two
clean.
columns.
So
yep.
So we could just create a JSON object that has the ID and it has the it has a true or false for each of those fields, and then send that over to Xano or Xano, not sure how you pronounce it, and do the processing that way.
Okay. Yep.
So what that would look like is if you go to here, do you want me to prototype it for you?
Sure.
You can kind of see what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
So if we go, thank you, Bubble, for a fast plugin option. So we want the repeating group tools.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have a repeating group, and I don't have very many things here, so I'm going to make it users. And then I'm going to have this checkbox, I guess, is what you're working with. Are you working with an actual checkbox?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So you're going to have this checkbox here. And then you're going to have this RG extractor. I think the extractor goes into the repeating group. And then you're going to have the RG data on the page. And so what the extractor does is it takes this
each value, yeah,
each thing from each row, and it extracts it, and then you can grab it from RG data, right? So the first thing I think I'd have to do is probably put an ID on the repeating group. And then come in here. An extractor name, I think, is RG because I just named it. And then cell index. It'd probably be current cells index. And then the column could be current users unique ID for the ID. And then column 2 would be something else about the current cells user, like the inactive, which would be a yes or no. That.
Yep.
And then you come into this RG data. The extractor name is going to be RG. Column 1 type is going to be text because it's going to be the ID. And the column 2 type is going to be a yes, no. Right, I think that's all I put in there was just 2. Yeah. And so now I can refer to RG's data, right? So if I was going to send an API workflow, just come into this plugin here, API connector, but this like Twilio thing happening, so we can grab that. I'll put a button just so we can do a click. So I'm going to go to plugins here, and I'm going to make some sort of call to something. Maybe I'll just send a basic email because I can do it in the body here.
Mhm.
So insert dynamic data, and I can say RG data, or maybe I would do arbitrary text. Ooh, don't we have a new JSON thing that we can do? I don't know. But you would start. You don't know? I don't.
No, I was just thinking you'd format the list as text, but that's
Yeah. So arbitrary text, and then we can start constructing our JSON here, and it would look like your when you get to the part where you need to start listing things, you would use RG data's column 1 list is going to be the ID, column 2 list is going to be the Boolean values for each row.
Awesome. No, that's cool.
Yep.
And I guess the format it'll come out with, is it anything in particular? Like, does it follow JSON, or is it just going to be basic text?
Yeah, you can construct it the way that you need to. When you're trying to list things out, we usually will do what Matt's talking about, and we will format as text. So like here, let me see if I can get something to format as text. What would I use here to demonstrate it? So like
the user repeating group.
Do a search for users here, and then I'm gonna do format as text, and then for each row I can do the content to show for each one, right? So anything that lists. Yep.
Sorry, I haven't used that plugin before. Would you put that inside of this format as text then, and it would format it would spit out a yes, no as like true or false, or
right? So you would construct your JSON object, right? So you would have the here, let's try it. I think arbitrary text is the way to start it. Right, and then because I would just have my start of my array, right? And then I would start with, I am not a JSON expert, but then I would start with my object, right? And then I'm formatting my object, and my object is going to be key value pairs. So I'd probably have ID, and then here's where I would insert the first one, which would be RGD's column 1 list.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably first item or something like that. Like, however it's going to be identified. And then you come with the comma and you do your second one, right? Which would be your Boolean. First item, and then I'd have to come out of that to do my comma, and then something like this. And then RG, not column 1, column 2 list, first item. Something like this. I'm not clear on it entirely. I'm not an expert on it. I've just seen Pablo and Eli do it a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So, and once you have it formatted right, it'll format it for you.
So that
Awesome.
repeating group data plugin, is that going to spit out like all of column 1 as a list and then all of column 2 as a list?
Yeah.
Right. So when you pass it on the Zano end, it won't be object 1, object 2, object 3. You'll basically just have it's a different approach, I guess. You'd have an array of all the column 1 values, an array of all the column 2 values, and an array of the item unique IDs, which you could then use you could loop through them in that way to.
So this would be an object. Like you would be making an array of objects because I'm taking the first item here. So maybe I need to do something to get not just the first item, but yeah, what I'm trying to construct here is an array of objects to send into.
Right. Yeah.
Zano. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think then because to do the second item in this list, right, we would want it to set this up so it could be a list of arbitrary length.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I'm not sure. That's why I don't think the first item is correct, but that's where the format is text, and I'm having trouble figuring out like how to construct that exactly. But I know you can use the repeating group tools to get the list, and then it's formatting it correctly for the JSON that I'm unclear about.
Right. Yeah.
But you can do it because you have it available.
So you'd start with the list of users and then go format as text, and then for each item you could pull out the corresponding fields from that repeating group utility. So you just take like current items index, like take the list of column 1's values, grab item number index, current users index, basically.
So like this. D equals RG is column 1 list, and then how do I get this?
Item number? I would go item number, and then I think one of your columns in that RG data utility was the index, right, in the repeating group.
Okay. Item number. Well, we're still comparing though. So where item number, yes, you're right, is.
Oh no, would be this. Is there an equivalent of this user's index? Yeah.
But it's not the index, right? So it would be column 1 item number.
Or the ID. It would. You can't use the index, but you could take the.
That's what I was. Yeah, you're right. So it would be item number would be. This is where Bubble fails so hard where every other programming language just you can compare in indices pretty easily. So
Would this have a use case with Algolia?
what was that, Adam?
Would it be also would it be possible to try to do this with Algolia? I also know that there are some text comparison plugins.
I don't know about using Algolia for this, but we're just trying to figure. So we would have the ID. We want the item number would be.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Instead of doing a search for users, though, we could reference a repeating group of users, right? So if I clear it and I go to here and I say repeating group users, lists of users, format as text. Then I have here ID, and I'm going to do.
Can you grab the index of the user that way?
I don't know. I don't think so. This item number equals. I'm stumped.
Yeah, this is definitely the most elegant way to do it. But unless we can get the index of the user, then it can't be done this way without perhaps another either another plugin. Otherwise, I can kind of think of a different way of doing it, but it's not nearly as
well, hang on.
clean.
So if we go, what if it's not a list of users? It's like the format as text part is the important part here. We just need to feed it a list so we can format. But maybe we just feed it the list from RG data because we have the RG data IDs is the first list, right? List and then format as text. And then we can, sorry, not insert data just yet. We go ID, insert this text, right? Because that's the first column is the ID.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And then insert here, and then we still need that index though.
Yeah, but so hang on, what is column 1 the index?
Well, that's the list that we're doing, the formatting. So we're getting 1 per 1 from the RGA data's column 1 list.
Yeah, so couldn't you go RG data A's item number this text? So for the first one, that will be like this text is 1, and you're going to grab item number 1. For the second one, this text is going to be 2, and you're going to grab item number 2. You know what I'm saying? So, it doesn't spit out a list. Well, hang on, no. So you go column 2 list, item number, right? Now this is a list of texts, item number, item number this text. So isn't that saying, yeah, for the first one,
But this text is the ID.
it's the ID of the user. I thought one of those
I
fields
see.
was
I think what you're. I think I get where you're coming from. So let's come back here and make one of the columns that we're getting here can be the index here. So column 3
oh, it exposes
is
a
the
cell
index.
index.
It does, but it's not. I don't know why it's not giving it to us in that drop down, but this will give it to us in the drop down.
Right.
So if we come in here and make this column 3's list, right, and format
Yeah.
as text, then we can do this object here, ID. Oh, it hates me. Come on, Bubble, stop hating me. I didn't do anything to you.
Showing you nothing but love and compassion.
I have been nothing but kind to you all of these years. Column 3 list. Oh, maybe because it's a number. That's weird. Column 3. Oh, I didn't set it up on this side. Column 3 type is a number. That's why. Format as text. And then we go. And now we know the index number because we can say, oh, I'm not ready to insert dynamic. I want to say ID, and it would be RG data, column list 1, item number, this number.
Column 1 is still just the index. Oh no, column 1 you had set up as the user ID. Sorry, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And then Boolean would be RG data's column 2, item number, this number. And now you have an object.
Yeah.
And you just put that in an array, right? And the delimiter would be a comma.
Yep.
Yep. I think that'll
Awesome.
work.
Yeah.
Could you please send me a screenshot of that if that's okay? Just so it.
Yeah, of course.
Or actually, I could probably screenshot it from here.
I can add you to the app too if you want me to just put your email.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
What's your email?
Jonathan.albertson. Yeah, that's correct. Perfect. @gmail.com. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, we did one, Matt. Woohoo.
God, awesome. That's a dopamine hit right there. Teamwork.
Very cool. Adam, welcome. It's good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see you guys too. I'll turn my camera around quickly to wave.
Hi.
Hi.
How can you help?
So I am using this uploader plugin. It is a zero code uploader. The reason I love it is because of UI, and I'm crazy about UI. So I'm trying to basically figure out the best, even if it's not this plugin in particular, anytime I exceed something like 2 megabytes, it just takes over a minute to try to upload anything. So I'm just trying to get the best plugin to use as an uploader that's going to have a pretty good UI and is also going to be able to compress files such as images and videos down to, you know, social media type.
What's your budget?
Oh, I'm curious what the answer is.
Upload Care is going to be your happiest experience. The plugin is free, but Upload Care itself is Upload Care can get a little expensive.
Yeah, as far as storage goes, right?
Well, yeah, so you just have to look at the pricing and see if it makes sense for you. I've known some people to try to get around the pricing of upload care. They use the uploader and then they like move it. They move the upload. But yeah, upload care is going to make you very happy from the UI perspective.
Okay.
Let's
So
just
would it
try
be
it
able-
out so you can see.
Yeah. So would I
Um,
be able to technically like shrink a file, compress it properly, and then switch it over to, let's say, AWS, just in this case scenario to keep it simple?
Yeah, that's the idea that
Okay.
I'm having. Yeah.
Yeah, because I definitely did see their pricing, and I think it was like we're approaching like the thousands a month range with just
Mhm.
yeah. And that's really not in the budget.
Not in the budget. You know who has tackled this issue for himself is
Hmm.
Callum. He's also a member. He
Okay.
usually when he does come to office hours, he comes in the morning sessions because he's in the UK.
Okay.
But he worked on this issue until he was satisfied. So I definitely think he'd be worth asking, and I can see if he can make it tomorrow. Sometimes
Okay.
he has a meeting that overlaps, but yeah.
That'd be really appreciated.
Yeah. Or you can feel free to ask the question in the Slack channel, and then you can tag Callum as well.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Matt, did you have any ideas?
No. No. That feels like a good solution. Yeah.
Okay, great. Sorry, if you want to go on to the next person, I had one other question, but it's okay.
Sure. I just wanted to check in with Michael and see if he had anything.
Yep.
Michael, did you have
Nope.
any questions? Nope.
No, I don't.
Did you have
Thank
any
you.
suggestions for UI uploaders?
Oh, no,
Like,
not at this point.
For the uploaders? No? Okay. Cool.
Thanks.
Let's see, Jonathan, do you have anything else?
No, I'm good, thanks. That's everything for me.
All right. Back to you, Adam.
Okay, so if it's okay, I'm going to share my screen.
Yes, of course.
So essentially I'm helping a friend out with something, and this is it seems like the easiest thing, right? So what she's doing a moving app, and essentially what she wants is her movers to access the start trip button within 24 hours prior to the move. For whatever reason, I cannot figure out the right equation for this, and it seems like it's so simple, right? Like there is a move date. So basically currently what it's set as is if the move date is greater than the current time and date, it won't show up. But basically I just need to add a day somewhere in here, add like plus days -1, but I don't know where. And I've tried like the range option. I've tried so many different things, and I'm wondering if there's any ideas that somebody could have with how to do this.
Okay, so you want this button to be hidden if it's not within 24 hours prior to the move start date and time.
Exactly.
Okay. So then I would first of all probably make the button not visible on page load.
I picked this project up after someone else built it, so I agree
That's
with
fine.
them.
No worries. Yep.
So I have to just change around all this logic. And okay, so switched it.
All right, so current user type is mover and moving details moves status is confirmed. And moving details moves date is move date is not greater than.
Yeah, so because I just switched this around, this is the part that needs to, basically this was saying that if the date is greater than the current time, it wasn't visible. And originally it was visible on page load, so that's why it's tripping you up right now.
So I think what it is you want current date and time to be in front of the operator.
All right, so let me just start with that. Current date and time. Should I do plus days minus 1? Or does that not even matter?
Yep, hang on a second. Current date and time. Yeah, because it's gonna restrict what you can put on the other side of the operator, huh? So maybe you had it right to begin with. So start move date minus 1 day is
Less than current date time.
less than current date and time.
A quick clarifying question. Is it that the button is visible anytime after 1 day before the move time? It's not like between the move time and minus 1 day it's visible, and it's going to be invisible outside of that range? Or is it
It's going to be invisible prior to the 24-hour mark before the date of the move. So let's say like the move is today at 6 p.m. Yesterday at 6 p.m. this would have started to be visible, and forevermore it will be visible starting that time.
Cool, gotcha.
All right, so this functionality should work, right? Move date minus 1. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, thank you guys. That's basic math, and that's why it bothered me so much.
It's basic math, but it's, oh man, I mean, just getting the time zones right for office hours and all that,
it's like the logic. Yeah. I get it. Thank you.
It's a lot. Yeah, no problem. Anything else?
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this session of office hours. Thank you so much, Matt, for being here. We're going to move into our after hours section where we turn off the recording, turn on our cameras, hang out, and anything that was not broadcast worthy can go on the screen then. If you would like to join us for our after hours, you have to be a member, so please go join us at pronocoders.com.